So now it's time for our final segment of the episode where we talk to one of our favorite guests, Chantel Cohen. She's a relationship counselor, and she's going to be answering some questions about these early stages of dating. So Chantel, thank you so much for coming back and joining us on the Love Seat.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you here. So as you know, on today's episode, we're talking about dating. So we have some really good questions for you, okay? The first one is, how do you move past hurt and allow yourself to be vulnerable again when you're dating?
That's a really tough question because we all, to a certain extent, carry around these hurts, right? And yet we also have to be responsible for our own happiness. And so the moment that we start taking responsibility for our own happiness is the moment that the power of that story, that past hurt, has less of an impact on our lives. One of your audience members is saying to themselves, oh gosh, this person's gonna hurt me. They're just going to hurt me. And then they start remembering that past hurt. And now all these things are triggers. And now they're not even living in the present, they're in the past. And so we can't change the past, but again, we can change the power of that narrative. Yes, I've been hurt in the past, but my past does not define me.
Wow, I like
those kinds of things to start to change the narrative, because that's what's fueling it, and taking responsibility for your own happiness.
That's powerful.
So.
That's powerful.
Yeah, this idea of reframing, I hadn't thought about that before, but that makes a lot of sense. So our next audience question for you is, how do you handle a situation where your partner is not ready to commit or move forward with more commitment in the relationship?
That's a good one. Wow,
these are really, really good questions.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because you have to... So let me just weigh both sides of it. Let's say if you decide your partner's not ready for the commitment, and one of the things you want to ask is, how will you know that you're ready for commitment? What do you need to see in the relationship that tells you that you're ready for a commitment? That's a really important question to ask, because if that person says, well, I don't know, then I would say run for the hills at that point, because they won't know what they're seeing. They don't have a standard or criteria in which to judge whether the relationship is commitment worthy. If they don't have that, then, what else is there? So I get a lot of, forgive me ladies, but a lot of women who are like, it's been 2 years. And I always ask, what happens in 2 years? Something magical happens in 2 years where you have to get married, I have to have these babies. It's been 2 years. The criteria that you want is not time, but really what you want is a deep, abiding love and commitment towards your partner, that they bring out the best in you, that they're the first person you want to talk to in the morning and the last person at night, that this is a person that you can see yourself. I know you guys are getting the warm and fuzzies. I know, because you have that, right? This is why your audience is asking, because the two of you have this great relationship and they want to emulate that. And it's not time. Obviously you guys met and fell in love very quickly, but it was based on depth. Based on, hey, I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, not from some magical time. Waiting, it really just depends, because waiting could have you missing out on opportunities also on the flip side to be with someone else.
Wow.
Man,
so
that's perfectly said.
That's a juicy answer right there. It was so much meat in that,
right?
That was great. Oh my gosh.
And I'm definitely feeling as you said, the warm and fuzzies. It definitely triggered that for me. Yes, resonated. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chantel. You always give us so many gems. We're so grateful to have you on the show again.
You're so welcome.
Let people know how they can get in contact with you.
You can get in contact with me by going to chantelcohen.com, or you can go to Become One Again, which has my couples program. Thank you so much for having me. You guys, I really appreciate it.
It's such a joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you for joining us for another episode of The Love Seat. I had a blast, and I know that I also learned a lot too.
I always learn a lot on this show. You know, I understand that it's our show, but it is really good. I gotta admit.
If we don't say so ourselves.
Just wanted to leave you guys with this. Do not feel like you have to go out and date. I know that it's a lot of pressure, you know, loneliness is at an all-time high, right? But it's perfectly okay to just focus on you. Don't feel like you have to attach yourself to someone to be happy, you know? So that is a very valid option. Just wanted to throw that out there.
But when you're ready to date, remember, you miss every shot you don't take. So go out there and shoot and have a lot of fun with it and be safe. Thanks once again for joining us, and we'll see you soon right here on The Love Seat.